Welcome back to my channel, guys. If you're new here, I'm Tina. So today I'm going to tackle our compost bin pile area, whatever you want to call it. Yes, I have tomatoes in the compost. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cut this all down because I need my compost pile. I'm going to get rid of them in my yard cart because I don't want the disease to spread in the compost pile, affect anything next spring. And then throughout the remainder of the video, we're actually going to put the entire garden to bed. It was a 2-day process, but we got it done. I was having mic issues, so I will be coming in and out with some voiceovers. And this is why I'm not keeping any of the tomatoes. They're pretty yucky. So every last tomato got chopped up, thrown in the yard cart. Anything that didn't have blight and or insects on them, I cut it at the base, left the roots in the ground, and chopped it up right where it was. We had some pepper plants that did exceptional this year. I decided to overwinter. If you want to go check that video out. The gardening channel with James Prigioni made it look so simple, and I'm excited to see how it works out for us. Now we're on to what I like to call Tomato Alley. These are 16-foot long trellises my husband built. We were able to plant 24 tomato plants, and then in between it we had garlic, onions, basil, some dill, and a few jalapeno plants. Every last piece of tomato plant is gone from this entire row. And of course we have to roll up the drip line so it doesn't freeze during the winter. Don't mind our pumpkin plant that didn't make it. And next up we have the dreaded aphids. They decided to swarm the radish plant that I let go to seed, so I'm going to pick all the seeds off first, as many as I can that are nice and dried up. And then I go in and try to trim this plant up as gingerly as I can. That wasn't so ginger. And while I'm here, I might as well pick off as many of the dried beans as I can. There was my mic issue. I was flicking that bean pod so you can see how dried up it was. And because this one was so black, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't moldy. And we're good. There's still beans here. I am actually going to leave them. Wow. You would not believe the size of this green bean. That thing is huge. Alright, I'm just going to leave those. I'm going to go ahead and cut out the cauliflowers, harvest the parsley, let those air dry, and just clean up this entire bed. It's a mess. You tell them. It's got to be the saddest cauliflower in the history of cauliflowers. Now that everything's removed from the garden bed, we're going to go in with a few inches of compost right on top of all the greens that got chopped up. Keep in mind, I will be removing those green beans here in just a couple minutes. And then I take all of my pots and dump all the dirt in there. I feel like those get so washed out during the summer, and this bed is so low, I'm just going to dump it in there. Next, we're going to mulch the bed. There are so many different materials you can use. Here's a few. I'm going to use some leftover wood chips we got from Tractor Supply. I typically use these in my flower pots to keep the squirrels away because they don't like the smell. This next bed was so easy to close down. It was our potato bed, and I decided not to plant anything else. So a quick little chop and cover, and that one was done. This next bed, I'm not even sure what happened here. All the peppers on the left side, we planted. All of the tomatoes, but 2, they just showed up. The birds must have carried them from one spot to another, and when they took off, holy moly, did they take off. And I certainly wasn't going to get rid of them. I'm kind of in one of those let it ride eras. Or maybe just let it grow, because that's exactly what I did this year. Just let it all grow. The last few ripe tomatoes from our garden. It's looking pretty sad out here. I am hopeful for next year though. The rain barrels, those still need emptied. This bed, we still have a little bit of lettuce growing back here. This bed, we still have some carrots growing. So I'm gonna leave those, and then the sage, I have to harvest all of those still. This is our fourth bed. We still have to get some compost. All of our tomatoes are gone. So sad. We have our avocado tree that just took root. I mean, it's not gonna make it, but I guess we're just gonna leave it. Oh, I still have some herbs to take care of. I will be collecting the seeds off the basil plants. The dill did get severely neglected, but I'm gonna still save the seeds off of those. And then I have a ton of sage to harvest. And then lastly, I have the asparagus to cut down. Apparently there's an asparagus beetle. I've never had any, knock on wood. Well, I'm gonna get to trimming this asparagus down. I think the next time that we'll be in the garden will be a couple weeks because it's still supposed to be pretty warm. We bought 5 pounds of Music hardneck garlic this year. I'm really excited. Everything that we planted last year and harvested this year was nowhere near enough. I have like the smallest little bit left. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Until I see you next time, be kind, eat well, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, actually, before we go, I want to show you guys why I do not dry my green beans inside. So these are the ones that we let dry on the vines outside. And I brought these. I have this whole screen full of beans. This is the saddest thing ever. Oh, this one's not even dry. This one's not dry. They were dry yesterday. Okay. Look at this bean. It is so tiny. I even have smaller ones. If you can see that, can you believe? So fuzzy. That's a bean. Stop focusing on me eyeballs. That's a bean. Can you believe that? That tiny little thing, and this is what we want to keep. So I did end up pulling, these things are like fat. I did end up pulling these. I'm going to try it again. I don't know if it'll work. I do have a whole measuring cup of beans that I'll save for next year. Also, I wanted to show you the garlic. This is all the garlic we have left. And the garlic that we bought, I'll just show you guys when it's time to plant those. Okay, bye!